Hey guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor, and your leverage for change. Today I'm going to be speaking about the journey to self discovery and how you might also make the same journey to really discovering who you really are. Because a lot of the times we are afraid to really face the person that we really are because we have some negative feelings about who we really are. We don't want to face that, right? We may have had some bad experiences in the past, some trauma that we have not resolved because we haven't worked on it, we haven't faced it. So, I mean, just becoming aware of it, we didn't take the time to even become of the traumas or the experiences in our lives that is now shaping and determining how we actually see and experience the world. So I always suggest that one of the most important things you can do to really grow into to be the best person that you can become, to grow into your full potential, is to really become aware and getting to know who you really are. Who you really are, not who people say you are. It's not your degree, it's not your job title, it's not your position in an organization, it's not what you've done in terms of what you've accomplished. Who are you really? Who are you really? A lot of us do not know that. A lot of us have not taken the time. A lot of us have a big fear of actually facing who we are, looking at that person in the mirror. A lot of individuals I know, they have done some bad things in the past as well. Maybe they've hurt others in different ways. And so they are not able to look at themselves in the mirror and actually like themselves. A lot of people hate themselves. These are the people you will see that will be, they say people who hate themselves, they always try to project their hate onto somebody else. And so these are the people that you will see who always consistently try to hurt others and make them feel less than, because they feel so low, they feel so bad about and hate themselves really. So they want you to hate yourself as well. They want to project that onto you. Now, before I actually go into the meat of things in this kind of how to do this, I wanted to mention that I've been approved by YouTube, just recently been approved by YouTube to have memberships on my channel, guys. So I won't go in depth in it because everything is really there. If you click on that join button below, it will give you all the different membership levels that I have. And really the reason I've done this is because I know a lot of people want to work on themselves, but they can't afford one-on-one coaching with me. And so I developed these different levels for what to suit pretty much every need that you might have. Maybe you just want to just participate in my channel. Maybe you want to actually do the work to grow and be different, be a better person, or be a better person so that you can now move in a different way in life, a more successful way. So at the higher level, you have one coaching per month with me after you've really checked out all the material I do in the lower levels and offer you in the lower levels, because everything is included from the lower level all the way up for the person who has the highest level of membership. Now back to this discussing the journey. Oh, by the way, it's that join button down at the bottom. Sorry if I didn't mention that. Click on that join button. That will show you all the different levels. Okay, guys. So have you met yourself, your real self? Not just who people say you are, who you believe you are. Have you met your real self? To do this, you have to go on a journey of self-discovery. Guys, I have done this over 3 years now. I've been doing a journey to discover who I am. And there were times when I thought that I was, pretty much okay, and realized, I think that I was ready to really kind of move into the world without, I've reached a certain place and I thought that I'd gotten where I needed to be. And then something comes up. It could be a relationship, it could be something else, and I bombed miserably. And so what I did was I go back again and again and again. Each time I bombed, I did it. I just went back and discovered myself, right? Work on work on me. who am I, right? Who am I really? It's not because I'm not Dr. Christine. I was born Christine. I mean, that was my name given to me. My title of being a doctor is just that. It's a title. It just shows what I've accomplished, but it's not who I am. Me as a relationship coach, yes, that's what I do. That's what my title is. But that's not who I am. So who am I? And how do you find out who you are? Right, guys? Now, before I go into this, a lot of people kind of sidestep getting to know who they are, right? And they use a lot of different ways in doing that. And some of them can be like they keep busy. They're always busy. Either they're working overtime, just being at work all the time. It could be that they're partying, they're always at the club. It could be that they are from one relationship to the next because they just don't want to be able to stop and see and be with themselves because they're so uncomfortable just being alone, right? They might be gaming all the time. They might be gaming all the time because all of these things takes your attention away from who you really are. So you don't take that time, and this is really running away from that process of getting to know who you really are, because you really deep down don't like who you really are, and that's what it is, and you don't know who you really are. And so it's difficult for you to move out into the world and have successful relationships, be successful in any capacity really, if you don't know who you are. Some people will do pornography, be immersed on their computer in pornography, or they will be having sex with every Tom, Dick, Harry, or it could be Sue, Sarah, just having sex with anyone and everyone that they can possibly have sex with, because they just don't want to face themselves, right? Now, how do we actually begin this journey? How do we begin this journey to come face to face with who you really are and who I really am, right? So I mean, going through the journey, first of all, you have to make a decision. That's the first step. You have to have the awareness that there's something that you need to do to really, before you can grow, and before you can grow, you have to know who you are, right? To know who you are, you have to become aware that there is a problem with something in your life that is not going right. And in your heart that there's something that you should be doing differently, right? And also, a lot of the times when we go into relationships looking to others to fulfill us, it's because we really don't like who we are, right? So we go into other relationships hoping that they will give us that validation and that kind of a thing, just to make us comfortable and like ourselves, when the best place to have your validation, guys, is within yourself, to know who you are and actually to love who you are. All right. So what do you do? Guys? You have to go back and look at where you're coming from. To know who you are today, you have to look at where you're coming from. So it's your history, it's your family history, your family interactions. Go sit down, guys. First of all, I need to tell you this: when you're going on this journey, you cannot be going to look for a relationship. You need to be able to distance yourself from everything. And when I say everything, everyone that may be looking for a relationship, meaning a romantic relationship, because that takes a lot of time from you. And you need to just focus on being who you are, where you are, without any other complications. So this is a time you have to just take a time to be with yourself, guys. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have your friends around or everything, but what I'm saying is, don't go into something that's going to require so much commitment, like a relationship at this point. You need to get to the place where you're comfortable being alone by yourself in your own company. And so you can actually really focus on these questions that you're going to, and it takes work, it takes time, and you're going to mess up, right? We are all humans and we make mistakes. First thing, look at your history, look at your family history, look at your relationship history, look at your history of interacting with others. all of those things, guys. Look at it and see all of the things that you want to change. What and then you, a lot of times, just looking back at your history will give you an idea of why is it I'm like this? Why do I think like this? Why do I do the things that I do? Perhaps it's my mother was cold and distant, or maybe it was that my father was like have like 50 baby mamas out there, and now I feel, I am now, I didn't, I was just running on automatic and now just going around and having sex with all kind of women because it's what I knew and what I saw, and I just kind of started doing that without even thinking. You just accepted it as normal. So guys, you have to look back into your past to see where are some of the behaviors that you're now doing that is not serving you, where they came from, right? When you understand where they came from, then you can say, okay, no, now I need to change that because I don't want to be that person, all right? So you have to dedicate time and energy in focusing on doing the work of self-discovery, all right? So you have to find out, what do you like? A lot of people don't even know what they like. What do you want in a relationship? What will make you happy? What will make you sad? What can you not tolerate in a relationship? What can you not tolerate even when you go to a job? What is it? What makes you happy? What makes your heart sing? What are some of the things that you need to do to feel, feel good? Is it hanging out, learning a new hobby that you really like, but you just never had took the time to learn? Is it something that you wanted to get a degree? Something to you want to be at a certain position in your organization? What is it that you want? What is it that makes you feel alive? Right, guys, that's your passion. That's your passion, right? What makes me feel loved? What makes me feel like I'm not worthy? You keep away from those things. If you don't know what these things are, guys, and you have to write these down, by the way. You have to get a journal, and this is work. You're going to write them down. What do I like? What don't I like in this area, in relationships? What am I looking for in relationships? What am I looking for in my position as, in my career? What makes me feel sad? That means I'm going to not want to be in that position. So you keep away from those things when you see it. But if you sometimes the reason for writing down these things, guys, is that once you write it down, it's no longer just kind of there ruminating in your mind. It now becomes tangible, and you can see it, and now you can focus on that. Okay, so when someone does not respect my time, and they're always coming late to whatever it is. If I'm going to pick them up, say it's a relationship, you're going to pick them up, they're always late. Or if you're going to meet them somewhere, they're always late. That means that person does not respect your time. So now you have to think that if you go into another relationship, if this is a pattern that you see happening in the beginning of your dating process, then you know that this is not going to work for you, because it's something that really is not what you want. It makes you really anxious, or whatever it is, that it makes you feel not good or not respected, whatever it is, right? But these are the things you have to write down so you can get to know who you are, all right? And as I said, look at your family history. That will give you a very good indication of where you're coming from, and how your life and your behavior may have been learned and formed from your family history. Also look at your relationship history. What are the type of relationships that you keep finding yourself going into and staying, and how, is this a lot? Do you stay and just put up with stuff? All of these things you have to think about, guys, so you can know how it is that you respond in different relationships, different scenarios. Okay. You also have to think all the people that you may have say it in your family history you're looking back at, right? If there are individuals in your family history that you feel this real that you have a lot of unforgiveness for, you also have to work on forgiving these people. And guys, remember that in forgiving someone does not mean that they're going to ever apologize to you. It could be in past relationships. Maybe they did you wrong in certain ways, right? Maybe they abused you, whatever it is. You have to learn to forgive others even when they do not tell you that they're sorry, right? You have, because forgiveness is not for them, guys, because you're the one that's suffering from that unforgiveness. They've gone on and probably is continuing to do the same thing to others. So forgiveness is not for someone, the other person, it's for you. It gives you the ability to move forward in life in a more healthy way. You've looked at it, you've seen that this was no fault of yours. You've accepted the parts that were your fault, that is maybe remaining in the relationship longer than you should, or perhaps you responded in ways that maybe exacerbated that kind of relationship. Whatever it is you do, you have to forgive others and you have to forgive yourself, because we all make mistakes, and so we have to also learn to forgive ourselves, because sometimes we just have enormous amount of self-blame as to what we did in the past, right? And how we continue to act. But if you know now that you're working on yourself, guys, you know that you have to forgive yourself before you can move forward, right? To be able to love who you are at this moment. At this moment, love who you are, but continue to work on who you want to be, okay? What are some of the things that you're ashamed of? What are some of the wounds that you have not healed from? You know, some of the wounds, especially when I speak about attachment styles, there are a lot of core wounds. There were core wounds such as fear of abandonment, fear of that there's no trust, fear of somebody leaving them, fear of criticism, you know. So a lot of times you have to now look back and see what are these core wounds that you also need to heal from, all right, and work on those. What are some things that you feel guilty about? Were there some things that you did? Maybe you hurt a partner, which maybe you cheated on a partner and you blame yourself because you realize that you did something wrong and you hurt this person who may perhaps you truly loved or cared for, but you did this thing just on your automatic thing. And this could be also because you saw it in your family, you know, your parents. Maybe they were some, you know, you saw that with your father who was continuously cheating on your mom, stuff like that. So this is why you have to really look into your past and look at what all of these wounds are, so you can actually address them and heal from these wounds, okay? So guys, also notice the things that may be recurring in your life. What are these recurring themes in your life? Do I always keep dating the same type of person? Do I always keep inviting the same kind of friendships in my life? Why am I doing that? These are things that you have to come to terms with, right? And that you have to heal from. And the first step, guys, as I said, is awareness. So the moment you become aware of it, sometimes just that alone is enough to really know that, oh my God, I keep doing this. So next time you see it, you know to stay away from that. I hope, guys, that you have learned something from this video. And if you have, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And also hit the notification bell. That way that whenever I upload something that's new, you will be notified immediately. And also, guys, please remember to check out my membership site downstairs by clicking on that join button. It does not automatically make you join. It just gives you the information. Then you can choose the different membership areas. So if you're not ready to join, it doesn't force you to join anything. It really just gives you the information of the different levels of membership, starting from $3.99 all the way up. All right, depending on what your needs are. So guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset mastery doctor, and your leverage for change. Until next time, take care.